Imagine the sun-soaked streets of Algiers in the 1940s, where the Mediterranean Sea kisses the shore and the heat hangs heavy in the air. In this vibrant yet oppressive atmosphere lives Meursault, a young French Algerian whose life unfolds in the pages of Albert Camus' The Stranger. This is a story that delves deep into the human psyche, exploring themes of absurdity, alienation, and the inevitable confrontation with society's expectations. The novel begins with a stark and unsettling line. Meursault's mother has died. He receives a telegram informing him of her passing at the nursing home in Meursault, some distance from Algiers. Meursault's reaction is unnervingly indifferent. He arranges for time off work, not out of grief, but out of obligation. His emotional detachment sets the tone for his character, a man disconnected from conventional feelings. At the vigil, Meursault refuses to view his mother's body. Instead, he observes the other attendees, noting their behaviors without judgment or empathy. The bright lights, the heat, and the discomfort occupy his thoughts more than his mother's death. During the funeral procession under the blazing sun, he is more perturbed by the physical strain than by sorrow. This lack of expected emotion puzzles those around him, but goes unquestioned for now. Upon returning to Algiers, Meursault seeks solace not in mourning, but in sensory pleasures. He encounters Marie Cardona, a former co-worker with whom he sparks a spontaneous romance. They spend the weekend swimming, watching a comedic movie, and engaging in a physical relationship. Marie is lively and expressive, a stark contrast to Meursault's passivity. When Marie asks if he loves her, Meursault responds with honesty that borders on apathy. He doesn't think so, but it doesn't matter to him. Marie is intrigued by his candidness, mistaking it for sincerity. Their relationship deepens, but Meursault remains emotionally distant, content to drift along without attachment or commitment. Meursault's neighbor, Raymond, is a man of dubious character rumored to be a pimp. Raymond seeks Meursault's help in dealing with his unfaithful Arab girlfriend. He asks Meursault to write a letter luring her back so he can humiliate her. Without moral hesitation, Meursault agrees, seeing no reason to refuse. This act entangles Meursault in Raymond's conflicts. When the girlfriend returns and is subsequently beaten by Raymond, the police become involved. Meursault testifies on Raymond's behalf, further aligning himself with his neighbor's questionable actions. This complicity underscores Meursault's indifferent morality. He doesn't distinguish between right and wrong as society expects. On a scorching Sunday, Meursault, Marie, and Raymond visit a beach house owned by Raymond's friend, Meursault. The day is idyllic until they encounter two Arab men, one being the brother of Raymond's girlfriend. Tensions rise, leading to a confrontation where Raymond is slashed with a knife. Later, Meursault wanders alone on the beach, oppressed by the heat and the relentless sunlight reflecting off the sea. He comes across one of the Arabs resting by a spring. The atmosphere is thick with anticipation. Meursault, overwhelmed by the physical sensations, the blinding light, the sweat, the pounding headache, feels disconnected from reality. In a moment devoid of clear reasoning, Meursault shoots the Arab man. The gunshot echoes, and time seems to stand still. He fires 4 more times into the motionless body, an act that seals his fate. This senseless killing becomes the pivotal point of the story, thrusting Meursault into the legal system and societal scrutiny. Meursault is arrested and placed in jail, where he grapples not with guilt, but with the inconvenience of confinement. He misses the simple pleasures, cigarettes, the sea, physical intimacy. His lawyer and the magistrate are baffled by his lack of remorse or conventional emotions. They attempt to impose narratives upon him, seeking motives that align with societal understanding. During the trial, the focus shifts from the murder to Meursault's character. Witnesses testify not about the crime, but about his behavior at his mother's funeral, his indifference, his leisure activities immediately afterward. The prosecutor paints him as a soulless monster, arguing that his inability to cry at his mother's funeral indicates a heart capable of murder. Meursault remains passive throughout the proceedings, accepting the absurdity of the situation. He feels disconnected from the trial, as though he is an observer rather than the accused. Despite his lawyer's efforts, Meursault is found guilty and sentenced to death by guillotine. Awaiting execution, Meursault spends his days in his cell, reflecting on his life with a detached curiosity. He rejects the notion of appealing his sentence, accepting the inevitability of death. The prison chaplain visits, insisting that Meursault turn to God for comfort. Meursault vehemently refuses, asserting his disbelief in God and any higher meaning. In a passionate outburst, Meursault confronts the chaplain, expressing that life is meaningless and that all humans are condemned to die. This is a moment of clarity for Meursault, a realization that the universe is indifferent, and so is he. He finds peace in acknowledging the absurdity of existence, embracing the physical world and his own sensations as the only truths. As the novel concludes, Meursault awaits his execution with a sense of calm. He hopes that a large, hostile crowd will attend, so he won't feel alone in his final moments. His acceptance of his fate and the absurdity of life marks the culmination of his existential journey. Meursault is the embodiment of existential philosophy. His detachment and indifference challenge societal norms about emotion, morality, and meaning. He doesn't fit into conventional roles. He doesn't grieve as expected, love as desired, or adhere to moral codes. His journey is one of self-realization, not in a transformative sense, but in a deeper understanding of his true nature and the nature of existence. Marie Cardona represents the allure of normalcy and connection. She seeks love and commitment from Meursault, desiring a conventional relationship. Her inability to fully grasp Meursault's detachment adds a layer of tragedy to their relationship. Marie's character highlights the human need for connection and the pain that arises when it is unreciprocated. Raymond's sense serves as a catalyst for the central conflict. His manipulative and violent tendencies contrast with Meursault's passivity. Raymond's involvement drags Meursault into circumstances that ultimately lead to the murder. He embodies moral ambiguity, blurring the lines between victim and perpetrator. The chaplain symbolizes society's insistence on imposing meaning and seeking redemption. His confrontation with Meursault highlights the clash between existential acceptance and traditional beliefs. The chaplain cannot comprehend Meursault's rejection of God and meaning, reflecting society's discomfort with the absurd. The Stranger delves into the philosophy of absurdism, exploring the idea that human life has no inherent meaning. Meursault's character embodies this concept, living in the moment without concern for past or future. His actions are guided by physical sensations rather than emotions or societal expectations. The theme of alienation is prevalent. Meursault is an outsider, disconnected from those around him. His inability or unwillingness to conform isolates him, leading to his downfall. The novel questions the consequences of not adhering to societal norms and the inherent judgment that comes with being different. The absurdity of the legal system is highlighted during the trial. The focus on Meursault's character rather than the crime itself critiques how society prioritizes conformity over justice. The trial becomes a spectacle of moral condemnation rather than an objective examination of facts. Mortality and the inevitability of death are central to Meursault's transformation. His acceptance of death reflects a liberation from fear and societal constraints. The novel suggests that acknowledging life's absurdity allows for true freedom. The setting of Algiers provides a vivid backdrop, a place where the intense sun and heat influence the character's experiences. The relentless sunlight is almost a character itself, affecting Meursault's actions and emotions. The beach scene, with its glaring sun and shimmering sea, creates a sensory overload that contributes to the tension leading to the murder. The cultural landscape of French Algeria adds layers to the narrative. The underlying tensions between the French colonists and the Arab population are subtly woven into the story, reflecting the complexities of colonial society. The atmosphere is one of oppressive normalcy, a world that expects conformity and punishes deviation. The mundane details of Meursault's daily life contrast with the profound philosophical questions the novel raises. While Meursault himself is detached, the reader becomes emotionally invested in his fate. His honesty and refusal to pretend evoke both frustration and empathy. The injustice of his trial and the inevitability of his execution stir a sense of indignation. The novel provokes introspection. It challenges readers to consider their own beliefs about meaning, morality, and the expectations society places upon individuals. Meursault's confrontation with the chaplain is a powerful moment that forces readers to confront uncomfortable truths about existence. The Stranger is a profound exploration of what it means to exist in an indifferent universe. Through Meursault's journey, Albert Camus invites readers to question the constructs of society, the nature of reality, and the search for meaning in a meaningless world. The novel doesn't offer easy answers, but instead presents a character who embodies the struggle against absurdity. Meursault's acceptance of his fate and his embrace of the present moment challenge us to consider how we navigate our own lives. In the end, The Stranger leaves us with a lingering contemplation of our place in the world. It reminds us that sometimes the most profound connections and understandings come not from grand gestures or deep emotions, but from the simple acknowledgement of what is. As we close this journey with Meursault, we're left to ponder the essence of our own existence, the societal expectations that shape us, and the possibility of finding peace within the absurdity of life.